And she was begging them to come
and she was
save
begging
her.
them to come save her, and they basically were trying to keep her on the phone. The ambulance gets there. She's still on the phone. And the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force,
blows up
just starts shooting the car down like crazy,
the
right?
car and the ambulance.
And you can hear her screaming, and you can hear the gunshots.
Yeah.
You can hear the explosions. You can hear all that stuff hitting the vehicle, and then you hear the operator saying, "Hello, hello, are you there? Hello," and the little girl's dead. And the people in the ambulance, it was confirmed that they said, "We see the little girl. We found the vehicle, and she's moving in the car. She was still alive when the ambulance got to the scene."
Yeah,
they killed the little girl, shot the car up. Then they destroyed and they bombed the ambulance and killed everyone in the ambulance.
Yeah, and then they found the bodies later to confirm it. And I think what's so frustrating for me is over and over and over again, I'm watching people do things that I like. If I took this set of facts and I applied them to any other any other set of people that were not Israeli and Palestinian, I don't understand how anybody would be confused about how evil it is. If I said, "Hey, I was in Texas and these Rangers, these Texas Rangers were shooting at a criminal who they thought was in a car, and the criminal was in the car with his family. They killed everybody but a little girl who was in the car. The little girl called 911. The ambulance from a town, down the road that was full of immigrants came, and it was two Mexican guys who just happened to be paramedics. They were trying to save the girl, and those Texas Rangers blew up the ambulance and killed the little girl and the paramedics. Nobody would be confused about how that is crazy and evil and should not be happening.
I mean, if this was reversed, if this was an Israeli family in an Israeli car,
and it was Palestinian militants,
it was an Israeli ambulance.
We call it October 7th.
That's what I'm saying. We would support them
doing something about it,
doing what they're doing, and it's like the part that bothers me is, like I said last time we talked about this. This is our money.
Yeah.
So every time you get your paycheck and you look at your pay stub and you see federal taxes withheld, that money that you worked for paid to kill that little girl.
No, it's worse than that, because we have senators and former vice presidents and congresspeople who are going over there and signing the munitions that are being dropped on children. And
Mike Pence signed a bomb that was used to blow up Palestinian civilians.
And I think the thing that frustrates me is people look back on the Holocaust and they say, "Oh, how could they stand by while all of this terrible, evil stuff is happening?" But it's pretty obvious that the reason that they stand by is because everybody is allowed to lie to themselves just a little bit. You don't have to know everything that's going on, but you know enough to know that what's happening to those people is terrible and we shouldn't be supporting it. But that's somebody else's problem. Yeah. And when enough people do that, the people who look to take advantage of the fact that everybody's kind of saying, "Hey, that's somebody else's problem," take advantage of that fact. And they go through with plans that we all, in hindsight, are going to agree are terrible and should never have been allowed to happen.
And I'm going to keep it real with you. History will not be nice to us. This, I think about Benjamin Netanyahu, who's probably one of the most evil men on the planet right now.
Yeah.
I think about how, when he goes to bed at night, does he think to himself, the Netanyahu name will be
synonymous with
evil for generations?
Hitler and
Stalin.
He's in those books.
Like, I mean, it's one thing to oversee a war, but it's a totally different thing to oversee a slaughter. And I want the Jewish people to get whatever they need to feel safe, to get Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization. They killed innocent civilians. But they're not like this.
I think the problem is they're not just a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
And I think
that is what complicates it.
Well, it's not that complicated.
No. I mean, Hamas was the government, and then they didn't allow Gaza to vote for another government.
Well, it's not. I think the problem is it's more complicated than that. They did not allow them to vote.
No, they
wait. They did not allow them to vote. They're not functioning as a government. They're
Well,
not
yeah.
allowed to function as a
They
government.
don't control their own borders.
How
They
can
don't
I
control
hold an
their natural
election when
resources.
I can't protect the people I'm supposed to protect?
Right.
If U.S. citizens are getting killed every year by some other country, nobody's gonna want to pay taxes to the U.S. government. Nobody's gonna trust that the U.S. government actually has our best interest in mind. Like, you will never be able to govern a people effectively when you cannot guarantee basic needs. You got to be able to guarantee protection. You got to be able to guarantee some kind of economy, and you got to be able to guarantee some kind of hope for the future.
Right.
And
a benefit for paying those taxes. Whatever it is.
Correct. So when external forces, i.e., Israel, make it so that your government can't do the basic things that your government is supposed to be able to do, yeah of course, elections are not going to happen.
And not just that. I mean, the entire system will shut down.
Correct.
I mean, okay, so we live in the United States. If Mexico could just come in and turn our water off, and the United States can't do nothing about it, turn all the power in the whole country down, turn it off. It's just off until we get the people we need to get, right?
And we don't have any control or say over what's happening.
And not just us, but the government, who is telling us, support us and pay us and all this other stuff, and listen to our laws.
Meanwhile, I don't have no power,
right?
And no water, and no food for my kids.
Like, you guys,
yeah.
And the thing is, like I said, next week we're going to talk about how I don't think we should look away with Biden. I'm not saying vote for Biden or not vote for Biden. I'm saying don't look away.
Right.
I'm going to say the same thing about this. While we are paying for the bombs that are killing these children, remember, one, the UN buildings in Gaza are being bombed, which is illegal in international law. Two, the people in Gaza have resorted to drinking seawater and eating grass to stay alive.
And there are regular Israeli citizens who are blocking food trucks.
Being
able to get to those people.
There are 0 fully functional hospitals left in the Gaza Strip.
There are 0 universities. There are 0 schools.
90% of 91% of the people in Gaza have been displaced from their homes.
Correct.
So everyone, basically, what they told them in the beginning of the war was, it's not a war, it's a slaughter. What they told them in the beginning of the slaughter was, move to the south, we're going to be bombing the north.
And they bombed everything between the north and the south.
Yeah, they bombed caravans of people that were traveling to the south. They bombed the people in the south. They bombed everything and everyone in the north. Now they are continuing to the south. Well, as they continue to bomb the south now, they have moved to bombing the refugee camps.
Yeah.
So now, I saw that story. We're gonna cut this.
I know.
In a second. But I saw that story of that UN guy. The UN guy was like, there is no safe place in Gaza. We are all just waiting to be killed here. Well, and it's like,
I mean, over and over, and we keep seeing the same story over and over again. There was the doctor who, he was being interviewed, and he said, "Do you think I went to medical school just to think about myself? I'm thinking about my patients."
Yeah, isn't that the doctor that said he thinks he's about to die?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he died like shortly after day or something.
Yeah.
I saw that interview
over and over and over and over and over again.
You see that nurse? She was American though. That traveled over there. And she was on Dana Bash.
Yes, and she said it was one of the worst things she'd ever seen. Every medical professional that has traveled there from wherever they're from has said this is one of the worst things they've ever experienced in their life.
I mean, you guys, they don't have medical facilities. They are doing amputations of children with no numbing, no
clean water,
no clean beds, no clean equipment.
They're doing it on the floor.
They're chopping children's limbs off
on the floor
without putting them under.
On the floor, in a hallway, where other children are screaming and injured and in need of care.
Women are giving birth to babies with no clean anything. There was a story about that place that had all those incubators where 27 babies died.
Yes, the premature babies. What's worse is, after those babies died, they left them there.
They didn't have no choice. They didn't have nowhere to take them.
No. The army left them there.
Oh, you mean the IDF left them there?
And they're still there. Yeah. Somebody went back and took pictures again. And the bodies are still in the same beds decomposing.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is really graphic and it's really depressing. But
we need you to understand, like, this is happening.
It's really important. And like, you have to understand, it's not by accident. It's not that no one has any ability to do anything about it. No, our government has the ability to affect outcomes. Okay? When other countries are doing things and we don't like it, we make them stop.
Right.
We moved heaven and earth to try and punish Russia for invading Ukraine,
We did.
and it didn't work.
We damaged
But
our
we
own
could
economy
do-
a little bit to
we
make
could
sure that we
do-
sanctioned them.
Every single thing that we did to Russia, we can do to Israel and more. And the fact that
Way
we're
more.
not
Israel relies
is
on us.
the problem. If we wanted to, we could, but we don't. For whatever reason, we aren't stopping it. So it's
And-
just really important that when it comes time to mark that bubble or to pull that lever, that you think about that. And you think about the person who was able to say, oh, I know that 100 kids are being murdered a day and that another 150 innocent men and women are being murdered every day. But I'm going to send some more bombs over there anyway. I'm going to send some more diplomatic assistance over there anyway. I'm going to veto any resolutions that call for you guys to stop. I'm not going to actually investigate any of the war crimes and any of the things that would actually force me to stop sending weapons because I want to keep letting you, encouraging you, aiding you in murdering women and children. And I don't know what to do with that.
The last thing that I'll say about this, and I don't mean to be the both sides of the guy, but just remember, it's not just Biden that's really enjoying this genocide. All of those Republican and Democratic senators could be doing something about this. All of those Republican and Democratic House members could be doing something about this.
Yeah.
All of the governors in the country could be putting pressure on the president. Hey, we gotta do something different. Yeah. Our states could use some of that money. We're just throwing literal tens of billions of dollars over there, but you're telling us that we can't afford this and we can't afford that. So,
hey, I think it just goes back to what I said before. We are suffering from a lack of principle. I think, Dad talks a lot about how authority is under attack in our country, but I think it's
sometimes authority is attacking us.
Well, I think it's deeper than that. I think authority comes from somewhere. You don't get the authority over other people from nothing. People give you that authority. Your power is derived from the people that you're above, and it is only there insofar as those people find benefit and find commiseration with the choices that you make. And I think for a really long time, people have forgotten what the point of leadership is. It's not just so you can be over top of other people and you can, reap all the benefits of other people's labor. It's so that we have a genuine direction that we can all be pulling towards at the same time in the same, in whatever way we can. And we're at a point where we do not have a unified direction anymore. No matter who gets elected in November, I don't know that that person is capable of unifying the country, and that's a very scary place to be. So I really hope that, between now and November, something major gets shaken up. I can't imagine what it could be.
A stimulus check.
Hey, maybe Trump will finally get through one of these court cases and they'll put him in prison. Maybe Biden will go ahead and bow out and we'll get some alternate in the Democratic primary. Though whoever they choose is probably going to be equally bad.
I don't want that to happen.
Hey,
give us Kamala. So just stop.
Here's the thing.
Stop it right now.
I would rather than put Kamala up and let her lose clean than they put Biden up and it become the fiasco that I anticipated being.
I'd rather. I don't even have a preference.
There's no good option. Hey, listen.
Because to me, let's say Biden goes up and wins and then he dies. That's still not a good option. Let's say Biden goes up and loses. That's bad. Biden goes up and he becomes president again and then he stays president for 4 more years.
Also bad.
Equally not good.
Listen.
So this is what I'll tell you guys.
This is the
we're gonna get off of the sad stuff.
It's the poo-poo platter. We gotta finish with something hot. With something upbeat.
This is what you do.
Uh-oh.
Go on a vacation.
Just don't go to Israel. It's not a happy time there.
Right? Yeah, I don't want to go to Israel. But Israel, I need y'all to hurry up and get this over with. Let's stop the war.
I don't know. I don't want them to hurry up and get it over with.
No, I want them to get. I just want them to stop. I just want them to stop. Ceasefire. Come on, guys. Come on. It's enough. You killed enough children. You killed enough of all these people. Get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu, bro. Vote him out. Get rid of him. Vote for somebody else. Come up with a peace deal. Figure this out. Because some of us want to travel, and we don't want half of Asia and half of Europe to be uninhabitable. So you too, Putin, okay? I would never go to Russia. You're out of your mind. But
here's the crazy part.
That don't mean I don't want to go to Russia. I mean, to Europe. But
there's beautiful Christian monuments in Russia that would be amazing to go see.
I know. I told you I had a trip planned to Israel and Turkey and Cyprus.
Yeah, that's
this was like 2 years ago. I was talking about this.
Yeah.
Now that trip got canceled.
Yeah.
But this was way before any of this war stuff. But it got canceled because they canceled the boat. But go on vacation, you guys. Okay,
Yeah.
You got a vacation before the boomers destroy the planet.
It's
You
true.
also got a vacation before these crazy Christian people are like, "Yo, hopefully the world is almost over."
rapture
Like,
time.
you guys. I'm a Christian, but I don't want to talk to God yet, bro. Okay?
Nah, I talk to him every day.
No, I don't want to talk to him face to face yet.
You mean soul to soul? You know?
I don't. Yeah, you're right, because the Bible said that no human can see his face and live. So I don't want to. Well, that's my point. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
We're not ready.
Okay, I have a lot of life to live. Okay, me and my wife got a lot of trips planned.
Trying to enjoy some stuff while we're still here.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that is a good place to leave it.
I think that's a great place.
But before we end this, remember, like, comment, and subscribe.
Please
go ahead with what you were gonna say.
Random super side tangent.
All right.
I am probably going to go back and rewatch Family Matters. But I've been watching some clips. You know, I hate that Steve ended up with Laura in the end of that show.
And not Myra?
Yes!
Yeah.
She never actually liked Steve, and it like...
No. Rewatch it. So, the thing is, me and Halia rewatched Family... Well, she'd never seen it before.
Yeah, that's right. You were telling me
So, we watched literally every episode, all the way to the
very end. So there was some hope.
There was at the end... It wasn't just, okay, I like you now. It wasn't that. It was literally, Laura went with him to like a polka show, and she like started looking at the things he was doing and saying, you know, that used to annoy me, but something about it,
that's kind of,
I really like it. And then she began to, like, she went to this polka show with him, and all the people there were telling him how they were like so happy he was around, and he saved somebody, and he fixed somebody's like machine or car or something, and all these people.
It was his moment to look cool as Steve Urkel, even though he was still doing Steve Urkel.
See, the one good thing about Steve Urkel that Steve Urkel showed us all was that if you just be yourself, you're gonna find a lot of people who don't like it, but the people that do like it,
they go rock with it.
Those are the real people that you need in your life.
And to me, that I feel like that was like the lesson that kind of got drowned out in some of the other drama around the show.
Yeah.
But the point of the show was like the people that like Steve really like Steve. The people that didn't like him, and he was just like, they'll be all right.
But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you though.
Some of it was real annoying.
Some of it was borderline sexual assault. Not gonna lie.
From Steve Urkel?
To Laura, yeah. For a long time, every time you have a boyfriend, he's sabotaging it, and he wants to kiss you, and he's holding his hands out and doing all the kissy noises.
Yeah, it's a little over the top.
You can't have a show like that now.
Hey, listen, I think,
especially when she's saying no, and then you're proceeding to try to kiss her and hug her. And
the interesting thing is,
I know it was harmless.
That was I don't know about that, but yeah. I think we can look at that and we can diagnose what parts of that are like, that's a little iffy. Let's not do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because we can see kind of the downstream effects.
But, and also, culture has evolved in America. You know, because I think in the early 90s, it was a little more appropriate. But now, you with like things like Me Too and just people being more aware.
Yeah. When you know better, you do better.
Literally. You can't just constantly hit on somebody.
Nah.
Like, and then you got a job and they're at work and you're hitting on them, and they're at school and you're hitting on them. Now. They get a boyfriend or a date and you like show up at their house.
Yeah, no, that's weird, bro.
You know, argue with their boyfriend and their boyfriend, you know.
Hey, listen, some people, you know, back in the day, you thought that was sweet. Nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Rewatch it. We should talk about it.
We should.
Because I just watched it, so everything's fresh in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Then we definitely.
We're rewatching Fresh Prince. We're almost done now.
Did you finish the Harry Potters?
Yeah. I'm, the books?
Yeah.
No.
Shame.
So okay, last thing. With the Harry Potter books, I stopped watching as much politics, and it was starting to agitate me because I miss it. So I had to take a break from Harry Potter books and go back to listening to politics. So yesterday, I went back to Harry Potter.
You got to do half and half.
I'm on the last 2 chapters of Prisoner of Azkaban now.
Oh my gosh, you got so much left.
I know.
All right, we're gonna have to talk about it once.
But I keep stopping so that I can go and watch the movie and see what's so different. But anyway, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
one day we're gonna have a full on like series where we talk about Harry Potter.
And we're gonna have to. We won't do clips, but we'll have to find some creative way of like, you know, showing y'all some of the craziness that's.
And I would like to talk about the differences between the book and the movies. I really would like to do that.
We'll have to do that. But anyway, I think that's a great place to stop.
Yeah,
This has been the Pensive Brothers podcast. I'm Elliot,
This is Aaron.
and we are out.